Fogarty. Back it comes. Woof. That wasn't the one he intended. He intended to play it to Henry Shefflin, but got David Collins instead. Pressure on the Kilkenny backs. Tennyson's back there. Surely he's not a blood sub still. There was some dragging and pulling, and John Tennyson wins the free out. Joe Canning was after him. Still hasn't scored in this game. Holding Tennyson's hurley, dragging it away.
But it seems ridiculous to me that Galway are still trying to play long balls into the forward line. I mean, Noel Hickey's in there on his own. Galway have two players inside, and Damien Hayes is running around outside midfield. The only play that they can make it is to play short ball and run at Kilkenny.
That is interesting insofar as whenever any team plays an extra man in midfield, Galway or Kilkenny refuse to follow that and move their man out of the defence, so they keep a very sturdy looking six backs at all times. Hard to break that down. Irlatanyan running into challenges, strongly built fellow, whipping it in, intended for Joe Canning. He'd love to score, and Jackie Tyrrell intent upon making sure that Galway don't get any more. So 117 to 1-8. 7.5 minutes left.
Well, excellent cornerback play by Jackie Tyrrell again. Just shepherd your man away, and he's a big, strong player and excellent hurler, and just shepherded Joe Canning away, let the ball go over the line, and PJ Ryan has a simple puck out now and probably play a short one.
Which he does exactly that out as far as Tommy Welsh. Nobody on him because Andy Smith has played deep. Pressure on, and the backs with Shane Kavanagh flicking it away out of defence there. Out to David Collins, dragged down by Henry Shefflin. Free out to Galway. Well,
just looking, Gerard, Galway, they look a little bit tired. Of course, this is their third game in a row, Sunday after Sunday, or weekend after weekend, I should say. And I believed actually that they could have done without the game last week if they could have beaten Offaly the first day. That you need a couple of weeks to prepare against Kilkenny, because it's very, very physical, and you have to be well tuned in to try and counteract their offloading game.
Here's TJ Reid. Oh, lovely skill. Ollie Canning's after him. Reid goes, but Reid misfires and puts it wide. So another one. That's 16 wides, but then they did get a goal in 17, and they have this game well and truly under control. Well, as you say, Donal, a somewhat tired performance by Galway, and they really did get a big fright from Offaly here 2 weeks ago, and again in the replay, it has to be said. Offaly developing a very good team. They have that kind of wonderful team spirit that I saw Sligo demonstrate last night when they got the measure of Galway over in Markievicz Park. Not looking like the greatest of weekends for Galway, senior hurlers and footballers. Joe Canning striking the sideline cut. This one drops in, stopped on the line. And reacting to it first was the defender John Dalton. Slipped it out here. Jackie Tyrrell as far as Tommy Welsh. Tony O'Gregan comes across. Joe Canning, nice little flick, lovely bit of skill here. Holding on to it. Owen Lynch, and that one has gone over the bar. Very good point by Owen Lynch. A lovely little flick back in by Joe Canning to make it possible for him. He may not have scored, Joe, but he's set up this scoring opportunity for a colleague. Look at that lovely little flick there, keeping it away from JJ Delaney, and Lynch did the rest. Yeah,
nice ball out of defence by Tony Ogan. Simple ball inside, and Lynch over the bar, but Kilkenny will be content enough with that. They still lead by 8 points, and they look very, very comfortable.
Well, they've looked very, very comfortable in Leinster for quite a few years. Michael Fennelly back out to Owen Larkin. Not the best of finishes. They looked a bit rusty in the opening match against Dublin. Their touch wasn't great for the first half in particular. It's improved here, obviously, and they are just pitching their campaign perfectly. You just get that feel.
Well, you look at the amount of wides that they had today, Ger, you know, inching up to 20, and they're still 8 points up and just playing well within themselves.
They're on for the 5 in a row. The quest for 5. This is Shane Kavanagh. Out to Donal Marry. Noel Hickey goes back, makes sure that Irlatanyan doesn't get a smell of a chance. high up into the air, not the best of clearances. Breaks down here for Joe Canning, surrounded by two Kilkenny players. Joe's away, and Joe fires in his shot, and Joe has got his point, and he puts it over the bar. So it's 117 to 110. Good score.
Yeah, nice point from Joe Canning. Noel Hickey knocked the ball out to him, and good point, but not enough from Joe today. Galway needed a couple of goals from him, basically.
And there's going to be another change, and number 21, Joe Gantley, comes on. Off goes Andy Smith, and for Kilkenny in comes John Mulhall, one of the stars of the National League. Wasn't the greatest of National Leagues, but it was for John Mulhall. He was a terrific player, and Richie Power is given a break. Wonderful to be able to do that when you've got such a talented squad of players. 3 minutes to go, and Kilkenny have demonstrated from time to time the speed and the craft and the artistry of hurling that we've admired so much. They lead by 7 points, and the drive for 5 is still there, very much set to win their latest Leinster hurling crown and take the Bob O'Keefe Cup. But of course it's a means to an end. An important one, I'm sure Brian Cody will tell everybody, and it is TJ Reid across here towards John Mulhall, hoping to open up a championship account here with a score in this game. Richie Hogan has done that already in this match. He's got one. Here he is, darting in, giving back the obvious pass here to Owen Larkin. Thought about sending the pass back, hit it over the bar instead. Nice dummy by Larkin, and that is his first point of the match also. But he's been fully involved. There was a little dummy intending to play it back out to Richie Hogan, deceived the backs, got it onto the right, placed it over the bar. 8 between them. Out to Michael Fennelly. Now Richie Hogan. I think fans around the country, Donald, are just craving to see this Kilkenny team put to the pin of their collar before that inevitable 5 in a row is achieved, because they just seem to have the game under control, played at their nice pace, their own pace at all times.
Well, they're an excellent team, Ger, and they all play for each other, and you know, if anybody's under pressure, they row in and help them, and that's why it's so difficult to break down. We've looked at their defence from high up here in the Hogan stand, and we see they hold the line at the 45-metre line, and they very rarely are dragged outside it. So they play to a system. They're excellent hurlers, beautiful touch, and they offload the ball when they need to.
Henry Shefflin with his tally now rising to a goal and 7 out of a goal and 19.
And I suppose, George, just to finish that point, the only time they were put the pin in their collar was last September against Tip, and they got out on the right side of that as well. So it's very hard to see who's going to beat them.
Well, of course, now as Leinster winners, which they are going to be in another 90 seconds or so, they can't beat Galway again until a possible All-Ireland final. This is carried on here by Cyril Donnellan, who got 4 points in Nolan Park. He's got 1 here. He narrows the gap, makes it a bit more respectable. So 119 to 111, 8 points between them. The way it'll work out from here, Kilkenny and Galway cannot meet again until a possible All-Ireland final. If Kilkenny get there, if Galway manage to come through the quarterfinals and semis and so on. Jackie Tyrrell, likewise the winners of next week's